Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
And slid down so we can see a red suitcase right here for law enforcement if they're watching and you guys would like to come back here. Of her being out here. So this is what we're doing today. We will see you guys back here real soon.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, welcome everybody to the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome YouTube and Twitter. It's nice to see you here for our Halloween edition. Ah! I couldn't help myself. It's Halloween, guys. Lighten up. Good Lord, lighten up. I know you guys are probably thinking, she's having a late show. She's going to be dressed up in Halloween. Yes, I'm dressed up as a stuck-up bitch. Her name's Bullhorn Betty. How you doing? Did I pass it off? Is my costume scary? I should stop. Thank goodness the B word is not on my cuss jar. Actually, it should be. It should be, right? We are working to raise money for Jen Santinella. We're hoping that other creators get a cuss jar. Reach out to Sonia if you'd like one. But this is what the cuss jar looks like, and it has prices. If you're going to be cussing on YouTube, you need to pay it up. Pay it up, right? And then we pay it forward. So, so the B word's not on there. Sorry, preachers. Did I tell you it's progress, not perfection over here? Oh, Lord. So I hope everybody is prepared for Halloween. Here in Manatee County, we have a whole bunch of goody stuff going on for our little critters here in the back, right? Our little critters. And it's going to be up there at the sheriff's office. So I hope everybody that's in Manatee or Sarasota County that would like to get out and do something fun and safe for the children, come over here to Manatee County. We always have something kicking over here. So I hope everybody's doing well. Again, I'm having some technical issues. I'm not sure why. Am I too loud for you guys? Am I okay for you guys? Could you guys hear my scream? Did you guys hear the scream? I gotta tell you guys, before we start getting into some of the Halloween stuff, don't cuss. I know, right? I shouldn't be cussing. I get it, Tammy. I get it. Lord help me. Sound good? Yes. So, Sonia, you didn't hear it? Let me do it again. That's ear piercing. You guys didn't hear that? Am I only playing this on my end? Or are you guys hearing it on your end? I can't hear any scream. Okay. Then it must not be playing. Here, let me try this. I bet you're going to hear it now. You should hear. I'm trying to find some different kind of music while we go. I'm not lying. Trying to find some different stuff, and just to. And I got to be honest with you. I was trying to look for some voice clips, some stuff, and some of this stuff is hilarious. Listen to this stuff. These are fight clips. I was trying to go through this stuff. I have to be honest with you. I was dying. I was absolutely dying listening to some of these sound effects. And I even went to the creepy stuff, and the creepy really wasn't that creepy. So I was trying to get some creepy ambience, like behind the scenes as we were talking, and just have some creep going on, but and with the help of it being Halloween, right? You guys can't hear that? I moved it. Sorry, there it is. Maybe we'll go. So I may just put this behind the conversation, so we have that eerie feeling on this Halloween day, since I did not dress up. But I have candy. Right? Got to be thankful for the little things. All right, so getting started. With our show today, we are going to be discussing some crimes, some Halloween type crimes. We did one yesterday and it was absolutely horrible. And it's something that happened recent. And so I was looking through and just trying to find some quirky stuff for Halloween, and I just couldn't help myself but to show that one yesterday. So today's going to be like 2018, 2016 type era, 2016 to 2018 type era for some creepy news, creepy costume crimes is what we would call it. And you know, we obviously want to say a prayer to all the victims that are out there. Halloween, I anticipate this being everybody being on the streets. Somebody's going to be hurt out there. It's going to happen. So what we need to do is do our absolute best to try to mitigate something happening to us. So it's nice to see you all. We're going to just jump right on in and get started with the first one. This one's kind of creepy. It's of a clown. So Halloween is coming, and that means a lot of eerie masks. It can be nerve-wracking opening the door for the trick-or-treaters. But here's a creepy clown that attacked a Little Caesars. And as you can see, this was a fatal incident. I'm going to show you guys a video. I had to turn the video off. We're going to watch a little advertisement on it. But he is creepy, and he was sitting around this Little Caesars for some time before one of the employees was able to protect himself as well as the store. I truly believe the assailant in this next story would have actually killed the people inside that store had he made it. So we're going to watch just a little commercial, and then we will get started on that video. So I'm just waiting for it to catch up. I have a lot of issues with bandwidth at the moment. So just give it a second while it's going to go.
Thriftbooks.com has gobs of spooky stories.
Is everybody ready for Halloween or what?
No, this can't be happening.
I'm ready. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm ready.
System is right there. That's what he's keying right now.
You can hear him banging, trying to get in. Creepy clown. This may be disturbing to some viewers. It's not really graphic, but you do see some violence.
Close it and lock it. Okay.
And that's him creeping. But just keep waiting. He's going to come up to the camera, and you can see how creepy his mask is. How many of you jumped? Oh, here he comes.
Carrying 2x4 too.
Look at that creepy mask. Oh, you can't even hardly see it. Look at that creepy mask. It's got a big long nose. You know what it reminded me of? You remember the president's... Sorry, let me pull it off.
Thriftbooks.com has gobs of spooky stories to get your crawlies creepy.
Same commercial. Remember the president in The Purge? Remember the president, the mask like that? I don't know which president it was, but it was a creepy... Like they called this guy the clown. But remember, it was in The Purge. It was not the... I think it was the president's. And he had that long nose. That guy looked like he was wearing that very mask. I'm not lying. It almost seemed like they were wearing that mask. So the next one is, oh God, so creepy. I don't know. This stuff creeps me out. I got to tell you, I'm probably going to lock my door. I got candy, but I'm freaking myself out reading this stuff, and I've been reading it all day. So this is a gorilla, a gun-toting gorilla. And I got to tell you, when you see the picture of this gun-toting gorilla, and this was back in 2018, or is this one? Yeah, May 2018. He was at a discount store, and he was there to rob it. And he went in there, and he actually did take an undisclosed amount of cash, and he fled on foot. But you kind of expect, like, I don't know, like a mean, ugly gorilla. And this almost looked like Curious George. This almost looked like Curious George. I got to be honest with you. I'm going to try to get this up. It's going to be hard to get this one up for you guys to see it, but I'm going to try my best. There you go. Oh, no, you can't see it. Hold on. There you go. I don't know. They say it's a gun-toting gorilla. To me, it looks like Curious George. I'm taking polls. On this. I really am. It doesn't get really, it's either blurry or not blurry. You see what I'm saying? But I don't know if I quite call this, gun-toting gorilla. I think it's more, Planet of the Apes. Yes, Miss Margaret. Yes. I could see it being a Planet of the Apes guy, but not, I honestly, I think the headlines would have gotten more attention if it said Curious George, gun-toting Curious George. Just me personally. This one's a little bit creepier. This is the Nightmare in Texas. 2 male party crashers panic Halloween celebration in San Antonio. And they dressed up like horror villains from Nightmare on the Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, and pulled out a shotgun and opened fire. It is, I don't even know, because we're all creeped out as is with all the stuff that we cover on here, and then it being Halloween. I'm spooking the parents out, right? I'm spooking the parents out this year. Don't blame me. All right, let me get this up. I couldn't put these up because every time I leave them up, you know how the commercials start running in the middle of them, and we'll just be talking, and then boom, a commercial comes up. I used to be able to set up all these things without having any problems whatsoever, but unfortunately, I just couldn't. And they had no pictures. They only have pictures of the scene. So I'll go ahead and post those pictures right now here for you. There we are. And this was in 2016. Somebody goes up to a party, literally with a Freddy Krueger costume. It sounds like the hands and all, and opens fire. Just opens fire. And of course, this is not a joke. This is a Halloween party in 2016 that was going on. Many people scared. And the good news is with this particular story, there was no loss of life in it. There were injured people. There were 2 that were injured that I know of, a male and a female. But it looks like, excuse me. There was a female in here, and I don't see where it says. So I think it was hit 4 males and 1 female. So 5 people in total were hit on this particular incident. And I don't even know if it was actually Halloween, but it was a costume that showed up on their front doorstep. And this is one with a drunk guy. Listen to this. He's almost like a one-armed bandit, right? He's a one-armed bandit, and he was really, really drunk, which is very, very dangerous. Apparently, he drinks in excess. This happened in 2017, but he with his arm being gone, he actually taped a machete to his hand. And people were calling in that this man with a machete arm was running down the street. So they ended up calling 911. This guy here ends up taking off from law enforcement. Law enforcement has to run him down and finally take him into custody. And he truly did have a machete as an arm. He taped it on there. Just drunk. He just tapes it on there. I don't get it. How many of you guys have Curious George? I know, right? How many of you guys have creepy Halloween stories? I'm interested. I've got literally days of this stuff. Days of this stuff. I could go on for days about the creep in the world when it comes to these Halloween costumes. Well, it's not really costumes. They use the masks of them. That's what they typically do. They use the masks of these costumes and wreak havoc, because the next one is the Scream mask. And the Scream mask has been, I almost want to say that is one of the more popular masks to commit crimes in, because this is not the first time we've heard of the Scream mask being associated with something, right? And it's kind of creepy because Scream, we discussed Scream and Danny Rolling in our conversations about Brian Koberger, because Brian Koberger, according to one of his ex-colleagues, he was really into Danny Rollins and Rolling and the Scream, the whole Scream situation. I actually watched that. Was it yesterday? I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but I just watched an episode on Danny Rollin, and I got to tell you, that creeps me out. That guy creeps me out. And to think that Brian Koberger had some kind of infatuation with him in his crimes is just creepy. Many people thought that BTK was more Brian's appetite, but I think he just studied BTK. I think his what made him want to do what he did, I think, really came from Danny Rolling. Potentially, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. But this Scream mask guy, goes and sticks up all these Chicago area hotels for money. And I know I've got a screenshot. I remember seeing him at the desk, but I don't see it popping up on this one for some reason. Let me see if there's another link to it. And lastly, before we move on to our trick-or-treat Halloween brawl, before we move on from that, we are going to go on to a new case that came up. I have too much fun on here. Oh, wrong one. It won't let me show you guys. It won't let me even show you guys Freddy Krueger. All right, so you guys have no funny stories, no crazy stories. I saw a costume online for a couple of dresses like Calvin. Oh, I did see that. What about other costumes? What do you think the best costume for 2023 in the true crime genre would be? I'm interested. Breaking news. What does this say? 20 planning mass at Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. Murder unalives himself in park's bathroom by worker. What? Hold on. I want to go on to a new story, but if we have a story breaking right now, I'd like that. Can you send that to me either in Messenger or by text? Something I can look at? The real Me Too? 20-year-old. And I don't even know where Glenwood Caverns. Heavily armed man was found dead at Colorado Amusement Park. Holy crap. That happened about 20 hours ago. So yesterday, it sounds like. Let's see what Yahoo News has to say about it. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. We'll just read along together. Just to get everybody acquainted. Heavily armed man found dead at Colorado Amusement Park. Let me put my glasses on. Sorry, guys. A heavily armed man apparently changed his mind about carrying out a mass shooting at Colorado Amusement Park over the weekend, instead taking his own life, according to authorities. Diego Medina, 20, was found dead in the woman's bathroom at Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park on Saturday morning before the park opened for the day. How in the world did he get to the bathroom before the park opened? I would be concerned about that first. I mean, that's a security measure. How did he get there? That'd be my very first concern. AP quoted Garfield County Coroner Robert Glassmeyer, who said Medina died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound and was found near the woods. "I'm not a killer. I just wanted to get into the caves," written on the wall. So he says, "I'm not a killer. I just wanted to get into the caves." So maybe he wasn't there to carry out anything. That's what he's saying on the wall. I'm curious as to why they thought he was going to carry out a mass. So they must be something other than this that's leading them to believe he changed his mind. Official could not confirm that Medina wrote the words. What they did confirm was that Medina was heavily armed. In a news release, the sheriff's office said he was dressed in black-colored tactical clothing, bearing patches and emblems that gave him the appearance of being associated with law enforcement. The suspect had been heavily armed with semi-automatic rifle, semi-automatic handgun, multiple and loaded magazines for both weapons. He was wearing body armor and what appears to be a ballistic helmet. Additionally, multiple improvised explosive devices, IEDs, were discovered with the suspect and in the vehicle associated with the suspect. Okay, well, that explains why they feel that. The release said that the body was found before the park opened and was not located near any of the rides or the exhibits. That still doesn't make me feel any easier. Officials told media that weapons found where ghost guns told media the weapons found were ghost guns, untraceable because they lack serial numbers. Interesting. Where did he get those? In its coverage of the incident, the Washington Post noted the use of ghost guns in violent crimes is soaring, referring to an earlier article from July. I can honestly say I was just reading or watching something about homemade guns and how it doesn't take much. And it's about, because I like to learn about new evidence and stuff like that. And this was a case that had ballistics, but the ballistics had no rifling on it. So it almost appeared as if they may or may not have used well, let me back up. They discussed using a silencer on this particular gun, but the silencer would still make some kind of something. This had literally no lands and grooves. It was outside of like this weird ring around the top, it had nothing. And come to find out, it was a cylinder thing with a, and it doesn't even look like, when you hear of a gun, you're thinking of what we perceive as a gun. This was not. It was a straight cylinder like this, and the top unscrewed. You put your projectiles or your casing, your ammunition in there, and it holds it. Then you take it, you point it. Let me see. I just realized I don't have my little tabletop tripod. Just realized that. So anyways, but if you guys seen my tabletop tripod, it folds down almost into like a little baton like this. And that's what it looked like. But it was spring loaded, and it had like almost a ring that you put on your keys on the end to pull it back. And it was just a cylinder thing. You pull it back, it hits the thing, and it goes out the hole that's screwed on. It really isn't a very sophisticated item, but for this particular one, it appeared it only had one. You could only chamber one live round in it at a time on the one that I saw. So it makes me wonder if these, because there's a lot of people that actually make their own guns. They're not supposed to, but they can. They have molds, they have whatever it takes. I don't know how to make a gun. I think it's done by, I know it's done by metal and molding and stuff like that, but they can make their own guns, and the serial numbers come from the companies, not from private people, and they can even make their own ammunition. So I don't know. So they said Lou Valero, the Sheriff Lou Valero, said that preliminary interviews have not revealed any previous warnings that Medina planned an attack, though the investigation is ongoing and in-depth interviews are still pending. Given the preparation, let me put this back up for you guys so you guys can see it bigger. You see that? Given the preparation, given the amount of weapons and the ordnance he had, it also seemed very highly likely he intended to use those against the community. He chose not to. The notice said that the Grand Junction bomb squad successfully disarmed the devices. The sheriff's office said, while the investigation is ongoing and very active, it is important to realize that given the amount of weaponry, ammunition, and explosive devices found, the suspect could have implemented an attack of devastating proportions upon our community and first responders. Medina reportedly lived with his mother and brother in a nearby town of Carbondale, Colorado, the park, which is surrounded by state-owned public land. So I don't know. You know what? With all this crazy shooting stuff that's been going on, I almost feel like there's this, how we have our true crime groups, right? We have our true crime groups. We not just like a specific person, but we actually have groups that discuss cases and stuff, like on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all different sorts, right? Those groups, I just feel like there's some type of weird militia group that is just really infecting some of these people and putting this idea into their brain that hurting innocent people is somehow, they're entitled to do. I really don't quite understand too much about it, but put a 1 in the chat if you feel like you feel like there's like this underlying or underbelly of these people online, this network of people, or 2 that oh, I put my tinfoil hat away. or wear a tinfoil hat, right? Or a tinfoil hat. And so, I'm serious. It just seems like this stuff is exploding, and it like when Columbine happened, it was it was like many years. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it several years before we had anything like that again? I mean, to think that this is just going on and on and on, and it's like every week or every month, it's something new. It feels like something's in the water. And we talk about the culture that's being cultivated, possibly, video games, because go look at the DC sniper case. You need to go watch the documentaries on the DC sniper. I think that really does tell you the toll that our video games can have on our young brains. Our brains are sponges. So they're going to get, they're going to absorb the good information, or they're going to absorb the bad information. So we want to try to absorb, good information. But I just feel like this is just becoming too much of a common practice. And I don't understand. I mean, I understand the political pressure of trying to change laws. I'm sorry. It's a constitutional right to bear arms. People can blow this whole damn country up. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's still a constitutional right to bear arms. So, this idea that somehow this is not going to be fixed by a law. Needs to be fixed. There's something going on in the mentality of people. The mentality of people. Law is not going to legislate, fix individuals. It's not going to fix individuals, but we do need to have common sense. Like, and again, I don't think, depending on the severity, I don't think that law enforcement should be taking away guns from people just because they have an episode or they have been hospitalized. I just don't. I think they should take them away for a significant amount of time, like 6 months to a year, to make sure that person is stabilized and then readdress it. But I don't think that they should be taken away, seized, or that person punished for something that they can't help. Here's why. Because I honestly feel that if we went to that level, that length, then there would be a lot of undiagnosed, unmedicated people with significant issues, because they don't want to let anybody know about their significant issues, because they will be unwilling to give up their gun. So knowing that you can have a temporary issue, get yourself back on, solid footing, and then, retrieve those items and carry on with life as normal. I think something like that, people could get behind. Total eradication of guns, I just don't see it happening. I really don't. I don't think it will. I just don't, again, I just don't see it happening. There's too many people. There's too much necessity for it. I understand people in big cities may not understand the necessity for it. But again, when you're out in that country or out in those mountains and you have a 600-pound 600-pound grizzly bear coming after you, you will understand exactly the need of firepower. And that's in the simplest sense I can say. Now, granted, people use their guns and stuff for sport, for hunting. Again, all they're not intending to harm human beings. And at the end of the day, that, you can't stop somebody from doing their hobby, whether you agree with it or not. But I do think that there needs, this mental health is a little concerned. And I can understand and identify that our country is spitting out a lot of unhealthy, mentally, people that can't, and we're not talking about just normal mental illness, guys. I'm not talking about, anxiety or depression or, those type of things. We're talking about things that are so significant that it's making people arm themselves and hurt innocent people. I'm not talking about, again, that kind of mental illness. We all have problems. If you need to go get help, get help. I don't see anxiety being the reason to take guns away. I'm talking about this guy was severe. And then on top of it, I read some reports through, I can't remember which ones, NBC, CNN, and some other things, that this is something that the family was constantly in contact. It seems like they were going back and forth. This was not something where the family called the local police department and the Army base or whatever. And I realized that NBC, they made a correction because everybody was like National Guards. It's because NBC, or it wasn't NBC, it was the actual law enforcement. They put out the wrong information at the beginning, and it was clarified in that NBC article related to the Army Reserves versus the National Guards. I mean, I think it's an insignificant detail what branch of military he was in. I don't see where, at the end of the day, he was military and he had a military break and they had to, and this was all recent. Everybody kept saying he retired in 2019. No, he didn't. There's a very detailed article out there about what happened and how Robert Card got to the situation he did. Again, it does indicate some financial issues. It indicates that him and a couple friends were going to like a gun training thing, and he freaked out and ended up locking himself into his room and did not come out. And his superiors had to go in there and get him. And apparently he wasn't acting right. And they were, I don't know if they immediately, I know they immediately took him down to their medical facilities that they had on base. That's from the report that they said they immediately took him out when they got him out of the room. But this was all happening at the end of September. It's and from my reading, it sounds like the family was having contact not only with that base, but also with law enforcement as soon as is 2 weeks before the incident, that I can confirm for a fact that his in-laws, his brother and his wife were having communications with the base, and we're very, very concerned about his well-being. His one of his army buddies that was out with him at a different time, and he ends up sucker punching his friend and freaking out. And that person went to his superior and specifically told his superiors that he was concerned that this man was going to end up doing a mass shooting at the base. This was all in weeks leading up to it. He had a designation on him to be on the lookout for him up until 7 days before this massacre. 7 days. Literally 1 week before this, that he was designated. They were to keep an eye on him. He was not to have any guns. He was not to have any of this. This is all the stuff I'm finding out. This was absolutely preventable. Law enforcement is saying that they followed all their guidelines in a situation like this. Well, if you followed all your guidelines in a situation like this and you released him from his designation 1 week before this, then clearly something is wrong and it didn't work. And we need to revisit those protocols. I'm sorry. This was preventable. I want to repeat that. This was preventable. Robert Card did not have to happen. You're talking about his family, his friend, the army base, the local law enforcement. Everybody knew he was a ticking time bomb, and still they let him explode. Somebody needs to give the people of that community some real answers. Some real answers. Because I'm sorry, if that happened in my own backyard, the only time that I would be healing would be when my community told me how in the world something like this happened and nobody could stop it. You're wanting me to heal when you're trying to shovel something under the rug. I think an absolute internal investigation from top down needs to be conducted when it comes to Robert Card. There's something majorly going on here. And when I hear there's 18 people dead and it was preventable, I get a little upset. It makes me feel like I'm getting word salad from the people that are required to tell me the truth. Just saying. Look a little deeper, guys. There's something more going on there, and I think it'll really upset you because everybody knew that this man was a ticking time bomb. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. Everybody that could have done something to stop him fell through the cracks. This whole thing was utmost preventable. Somebody dropped the ball. A lot of people dropped the ball. And guess what? 18 people are dead because of it. So this whole, kumbaya moment, I get that we need to heal, but somebody needs to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And the only way we're going to prevent that from happening is understanding how this happened. That is the only way we're going to learn. And right now, I feel like we're kind of getting the shaft, that they're not really telling us the stuff that they need to be telling us. So this happened in my backyard. You guys know that we covered the Summer Wells case back in, well, she disappeared. We started covering her case back, I think it was September 2021, if I'm not mistaken. I know that's when Gabby came on. We started hearing about it. We were monitoring. We were dealing with Gabby, but we started, after Gabby was done, which I think was around November, we started really diving into Summer Wells. And then by December, we were out there in Tennessee, and then January, and then February, I think we missed February, March. We're out there April, May. So it was multiple trips out to the area of Tennessee. Then we also had Michael Monkey Vaughn go, disappear right about the same time. So now we have, Summer Wells and Michael Monkey Vaughn all going, things going on around the same time frame that this all was going on, summer, June 15th. Michael Monkey Vaughn, what was he, July 27th? I've got his flyer around here somewhere. 27th, I think it is. I got Summers right there. I don't know what I did with Michael's. Michael's is somewhere here. I've got it somewhere here. You know what? I bet you right here. Hold on. So there was another man, and he really didn't make a whole lot of news here in the state of Florida. Oh, wow. Look at all this. This is like some of the cases, guys. Oops, I'm getting stuck up here. Paola Miranda Rosa, she is still missing, guys. She's still missing. But anyways, this other guy, his name is Rainey. And I've been studying his case. I'm not going to dive too much. Remember Joshua Rollins? Remember him? Cutie patootie, 2-year-old that was such a big boy and actually was able to survive out in the wilderness. Remember him? What a brave little boy he was, huh? A cutie patootie found. So we've got one that hasn't been found, one that has been found. Obviously, we know who this guy is. She was a bartender here in Bradenton. We went looking for her. It was really sad, and this was the first time. It was her case that I realized how stress and concern can make a person act strange, because I don't know if he was paranoid from, coming down off the drugs or what, but her roommate was ultra paranoid, so much so that he almost wrecked his bike when they were trying to give interviews right there in front of where she used to work. It was really odd. So much so I actually called my sheriff and told him. And then, of course, baby Quentin. And here we go. So July 27th, Michael Monkey Vaughn right there. This beautiful little boy. Which we're hoping and praying that, justice will come very, very soon for that little boy. And it's a very hard thing. So you had Summer Wells going on. You had Michael Monkey Vaughn going on. So when you hear about this 52-year-old guy from Florida, going into this small little coastal town called Suwannee, nobody really pays a whole lot of attention to his story. And then he's found a couple days later, stabbed in a canal on the backside of the rental property he rented for the weekend with his family. Guys, give me just a second. That was my lawn guy. Find out which one goes where. Yeah, that was my lawn guy. So nobody was really paying attention to David Rainey, a 52-year-old man that disappeared, and his dead body, stabbed multiple times, just washed up. And I shouldn't even say washed up, because according to law enforcement, it took an extensive search to actually find him. So what had happened is July 23rd, he and his wife, I don't know if they were drinking. The photo of him, you can clearly see a cocktail in his hand. This is this photo right here. And we're going to dive into the, why isn't this? Okay. We're going to dive into this a little more tomorrow. I got to get some more things for this story kind of up to date, but we are going to still just give you a little bit of information on this particular matter. So this was what he was found in. That shirt you see in this photo is what he was found in. This was the last photo taken of this man before him and his wife, according to his wife, got into a fight. He storms out of the house. He leaves his glasses, his wallet, his keys, his phone, everything behind, and walks off, according to his wife. So who was all at this house? So this man, David, his wife, Cindy Sue, his son, Bailey, and his other son, I think it's Jack. Is it Jack? I'm pretty sure it's Jack. Let me see if it's Jack. This is so frustrating. David, let me see I'm pretty sure it's Bailey. Yeah, it's Bailey and Jack. So Bailey's the older one and Jack's the younger one. So Bailey's girlfriend was there. And then it said in the report, it was very confusing because there was another man there. And I couldn't determine the way the article was written to state that it was Cindy Sue's boss that came out there, or if it was the Bailey's girlfriend's boss. I couldn't, like, the way the article was written, it had both of them in the, listed in the sentence, but it said her and also her boss, Jeffrey. But it didn't refer to which her they were referring to, whether it was the mom or the girlfriend. So I'm uncertain, and I'm starting to think, wait a minute, if this Jeffrey guy is mom's boss, we got a problem. We got a problem, especially with husband winding up with multiple stab wounds. So I did an extensive and exhaustive search into this. And like I said, we are going to go through this a lot more tomorrow, more in depth. I pulled background checks, but there are some things that I want you guys to pay attention to, because the reason why I'm bringing this case up is I want you to read it. I want you to familiarize yourself with it. I want you to see if you can find different articles than me, if you can find different information than me, because right now I'm trying to determine where the location of the rental. I know where they live. That was easy to determine because they own their home. But what I don't know is what home that they had rented in Suwannee with the family, and the specific location where they found him in the canal. I tried to look for aerial footage because that's one thing that, this was a 2021 case. So it's not something that was, the 1990s or anything like that. So we had good technology when this man disappeared and then when he was ultimately found murdered. So I'm just curious as to, obviously they arrested the wife and both of his sons. But listen to this. Here's the kicker. And again, we're going to go on in detail with this more than this, okay, than what we're going over right now. His mother sued his wife, both of his sons, Bailey's girlfriend, and hers boss, right? Jeffrey. Still trying to determine, is Jeffrey Cindy Sue's boss, or the other girl? And the other girl, hold on, I'll tell you what the name of the other girl is, which is his girlfriend, and her name is Eleanor Coker. So Jeffrey Sawyer and Eleanor Coker. Jeffrey Sawyer is her boss, but I don't know if it's Cindy Sue's boss or Eleanor's boss. The only two girls that were there. It's one or the other, but I can't figure out which. I have a funny feeling we're going to learn that he's Cindy Sue's boss, which kind of gives a whole nother element. When we look into these boys, the one thing I can tell you is I feel like there's something here that we're missing when it comes to David Rainey's case. I really do. I think we're missing something, and I want you guys to look at it tonight, read through everything, see if you guys can locate it, because for me, I feel like when I look at Cindy Sue and Bailey, like they kind of give me a rougher exterior. But with all these people, like I try to imagine what this situation would look like. I try to put myself there and see what could possibly be going on. And when you're looking at it from that lens, there's a few key things that I'm picking up on. The amount of people there. The amount of people there is not conducive for, say, a planned, unaliving. It seems like this was sporadic, and there was an argument. Cindy Sue acknowledged the argument when he left. So could this possibly be where, one of the sons got really upset with his father, maybe being cut off? Maybe the father found out the son's not going to college. Maybe, something like, I feel like because of the amount of people there and the fact that it appears that all of them are being hush-hush, even though they don't really have, that kind of loyalty to each other. It makes me feel like something happened where it's one of the boys that may have been responsible for this. But I don't know. The wife, and that's another thing. Like, why would the wife acknowledge right up front that she was having this fight with her husband, so much so that he stormed out of the house? She would be the very first person that they would be looking at, the people around it. This is what I find odd. It took his mother suing them civilly. She sued them civilly back in May. She sued him civilly back in May, and I believe, where's the call? Okay, hold on. I must need to refresh. It's been up too long, but I pulled all the complaints. So this complaint, July 21st, his mother files a complaint, and it still took 3 months, a civil suit against them for everything that they're being charged with right now, the tampering with evidence and stuff like that. His mother's suing them for tortuous moving of a body, some type of claim here. I'll read it to you. Hold on just a sec. I just had it up. Defendant Jeffrey, complaint. Oh, I must have closed the complaint. Shoot, I didn't mean to do that. I opened it up and I ended up accidentally dropping it. I'll have to re-find it, but I'll re-find it tomorrow, by tomorrow. But I want you guys to look at the David Rainey case. It's in Florida. There's a bunch of different counties because Jack was over in Orlando when he got arrested. Both Cindy Sue and Bailey were arrested in their Flagler home, their Flagler County home. Flagler County has them in custody. And this happened in Dixie County. So all of them are going to have to be extradited to Dixie County, which is where Suwannee is. And it's up in the Panhandle, the Big Bend of Florida is where this is going on. But I just thought this was really interesting because they didn't arrest like mom or one of the sons. They took all three of them. And the other two, Eleanor and Jeffrey, are being sued as well civilly, almost like a wrongful death type of suit against all of them. The wife, the two sons, the friends, everybody. So I'm glad that he hopefully will get some justice. I don't understand, I want to say why it took so long, but it really, in the grand scheme of true crime in these cases, it's only been just a little over 2 years. I think they did an amazing job because, our cases typically, from beginning to end, typically takes, a year and a half to 2 years to get somebody arrested. We're usually, I think that's standard. In the case of like Leilani, where the evidence is so overwhelming that, it's a matter of days that they find out the truth. Some of this stuff takes longer. They may have known that there was something fishy going on in that house at that time and just kept working the case until they had the probable cause for the arrest. Either way, watch this case, watch it closely. This is coming up. This is right here in Florida. This is going to be one of those interesting cases. I feel like this case is going to have a lot of twists and turns, and I'm interested to find out how, and I'll be doing some more digging on Jeffrey, because for whatever reason, I have a funny feeling if we find out this man is the boss of Cindy Sue. Like, why is Cindy Sue's boss hanging out with her, right? Going on vacation with her boss and her husband. I don't know. I just, whatever. Anyways, guys, it was great for you guys to come here and hang out with me on the spooky Halloween. Yes. And I'm sorry. I try to make it spooky, but some of the stuff's just, you don't really find a whole lot of crime. I think the most juicy part of the crime thing was yesterday with the guy in the, what mask was he wearing? He was wearing a Michael Myers mask. I don't know. Halloween freaks me out anymore. I love seeing the kids, though. I do love seeing the kids, and I do have candy, even though this street here is not, it doesn't really have a whole lot of children on it, and not too many people come down here. So I just get a little bag of candy, because if I get a kid, I'll be lucky, but it's usually a kid or two. I don't really get too many kids over here. So anyways, go make it a great and fun evening. And guys, please, if there is an event for your little munchkins, I really hope you guys consider taking them to the event as opposed to walking around. I know, and I there's this website called Nextdoor. I don't know how many of you guys ever heard of it. I used to use it a long time ago whenever I was in real estate. And what I liked about it is like here, like I'm in the Bay Shore Gardens area. And on that Nextdoor app, you can actually designate your house as a Halloween-friendly house. So you might want to consider doing that, or, making if you don't want to deal with, there are just some people that don't like children, that don't want to be bothered. And they got to work tomorrow. They don't get the day off. They got to be up at 3:00 in the morning. Listen, don't be offended that you have a life other than this. Everybody understands it's for the kids, but maybe go in there and designate your house as not being a trick-or-treat friendly house, so people know just to skip you, so they don't even bother you altogether. You know what I'm saying? So just consider looking into Nextdoor for your community. It's pretty interesting and pretty neat. I know I'm signed up around here, but to be honest with you, I can't remember the last time I opened a Nextdoor notification. I really can't, but I do go there when I need to, right? All right, guys. Well, you guys go make it a great and a spooky, fun Halloween time. And we'll be back here tomorrow, bright and early, for our coffee club and a lot of true crime. So you guys go make it a great day. God bless.